Ding, ding, ding.
Oof. Shouldn't do that. All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Geeking Poetic Podcast. We are back in black, Jack. That's a fact. They got nothing. They got nothing. I left you with nothing.
You used all my axe.
Yeah.
Let me axe you.
You're gonna
axe you a question.
Please don't axe me. But yeah, we're back. It's been a little while. It's been a bit.
A little bit.
Couple two, three weeks or so.
Yeah.
But we are back with the good old top 5. We're doing the whole top 5 thing again. Before we get into discussing our top 5, for anybody who's watching us for the first time, and we hope there are some new people here, and we'll just keep telling ourselves that there's
new people.
There better be.
Are we the new people?
We're new.
Oh my God. Is that Langoliers again?
Sure is, man. It's when they reappear at the airport at the end of the movie there. So.
Yeah, I knew it. I
Yeah.
knew just by the delivery.
Every episode, I try to get one Langoliers in there. So if you are new and you are a Langoliers fan, this may very well be the podcast for you. It may very well be the only podcast for you, actually, because I don't think any other podcast but ours has someone on the group that actually likes the Langoliers.
Well, that's because there's like 6 people in the whole world that actually like the Langoliers, and there's like you, the guy who made the movie, a couple people that were extras in it, and some like 87-year-old grandmas that watched it when it was like the ABC
Deaf
movie
and
of the
blind.
week. Yeah, that said, I liked it. I like that Bronson Pinchot. Anyway, if you haven't seen us before, I am one of your hosts, Larry Roberts. Across this long glass, shiny table full of Marvel paraphernalia, we have one of our other esteemed hosts, none other than
Vito Marchese.
And then right here, right now, weighing in at a heavy 3.5 stone. It is the reigning Geeking Poetic champion, none other than Miss Megan Guess.
And the crowd goes wild.
Let's get ready to mumble.
Oh, you're a dick.
So in this episode, we are going to try to fix a few things, right?
We are, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, if you can hear her. We've tried really hard to adjust the microphones, because one of the most common criticisms we get from you guys is we can't hear Megan.
I'm just such a soft talker.
Yeah.
I can't help it. You got me turned like all the way up.
I got her turned
Got
way
me
up,
jacked
folks.
up.
So yeah, she's all
I'm all jacked up.
She's all jacked up on goofballs. But no, we turned her up, so we'll be really curious to hear what you guys think when this is all done, and see if there's any improvement on the volume side of things. The other common criticism feedback we've gotten is that, frankly, our shows are just too damn long. Shows are just too damn long.
Somebody likes to talk.
The show is too damn long.
Yeah, exactly. Larry's microphone volume is too damn high, and your shows are too damn long. So, in all seriousness, we are going to make a concerted effort to keep this top 5 much shorter. Of course, we probably already wasted like 10 minutes just on bullshit. But we'll try to get all the bullshit out of the way, right?
Yeah, all the bullshit out of the way. So we're going to be concise and on topic. Do you hear me?
I'm gonna try.
If we don't, we got to get that speed chest timer for the next one, man.
Dude, that's a good idea.
We will.
Yeah.
We should do that anyway.
Well, yeah, we should do this like I said before. We should do this like they do on ESPN when they debate back and forth on something, and like whether LeBron James is worth shit or not. And the guy gets like 2 minutes, and then at the end of that, they start dinging him, man. The guy keeps talking, and they're like, "You had your time. Enough. Move on. We're talking about White Sox now." So yeah, we might need to do that. But
Anyway.
Yeah, if I didn't give it away, if you didn't already, well, I'm sure they're going to see the title anyway, but if you didn't already know what we're talking about, we are talking about our top 5 favorite, what we consider to be the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Now, if all goes according to plan, if everything turns out right, if Vito can edit this in time, we get everything, all the stars align. We hope that this video is going to come out the day that Avengers Endgame hits the theater. So if it doesn't,
no pressure.
Yeah, this is going to sound.
When
really
is
stupid.
that? Like 2 weeks or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Vito's like, I got it. But hopefully, you guys maybe you'll be listening to this like on your way to the theater to go see it that night, because we will be.
That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go see Endgame that night.
Thursday, right?
Yep.
Thursday, yep.
Thursday, April 25th.
We'll be there with bells on.
Well, you might have bells. I'm just gonna show up.
Yeah, Vito's like, I'm gonna.
We talked about this. You all agreed on bells.
Hey, I wear some bells now and then, but
You are a bell.
I'm the bell in the ball. Damn it! All right, we all know this, but we all know Vito's gonna show up in a hoodie.
Yeah.
And some baggy pants.
Well, it is May. No, it will still be April, but yeah. Even at the end of May, I'm still wearing a hoodie and baggy pants. So that's my basic attire from...
We went to Southern California when it was like 80 degrees out, and Vito wore a hoodie and baggy pants.
It was a light hoodie from Walmart, a zip-up hoodie, which I never wear. I hate fucking zip-up hoodies. But I figured, you know what? It's Southern California. It's going to be warm. I'm not going to bring the heavy-duty hoodie. I'll bring up a zip-up one, whatever. And then the motherfucker ripped before we left the hotel. So I had this big-ass rip in the side of the fucking thing, walking down the street like embarrassed as all fuck, but whatever.
Going to his first NAMM convention, trying to make impressions, meeting people from the companies for the first time, walking in like a fucking bum.
I dress like a bum every day, but I probably should have known better, but... Whatever.
So
walking up to the Strandberg guitar booth, looking like he's going to start asking for change.
So where do they let me play the guitars?
Like,
No, I don't know. We're gonna keep that on the shelf. Actually,
You like walk up with your drink and they start dumping coins in there.
All of a sudden they turn around. Vito just wants to ask a question about the 7 strings, and they turn around and see Vito stand there with a cup, and they reach in their pocket, throw some change, and we're like, "There you go,
Scram,
bro.
get out of here."
Scram.
Beat it, kid.
All right, now Scray. But anyway, so we're very anxious to see Endgame. I think we're all pretty anxious to see
for
it.
sure.
Yep.
But what we wanted to do with this is we wanted to get this list out before we see Endgame, because ultimately, speaking for myself, I think Endgame is going to affect my list. I just have this feeling, or at least the potential is there to affect my list.
I can be on board with that. The potential is there.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of, just for like posterity, get our top 5 list out now, because we're going to do an Endgame review, I'm sure, because we're all going to see it. So there'll be, just like we did with Captain Marvel, I'm sure there'll be a link here for that. And Ant-Man and the Wasp and a few other movies. We'll do a little movie review thing talking about it. So then we can talk about where things sit after that, and I'm sure we'll be talking about these movies forever and ever. Sorry, I'm singing Blink 182 now for no apparent reason.
I wanted to listen to them like a couple months ago for some stupid reason, and I never really liked that band, but I had this urge to listen to them. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. What the hell's wrong?
I
with
don't
you?
You
know.
okay?
I was listening to Green Day the other week too, like Dookie for some reason.
Dookie's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. It was for its time, at least. But anyway, I just wanted to get this out like now, so that it's there. Maybe in a year or so we can like look back. We'll talk about it again. It'll be interesting to see where things sit. But like right now, for the most part, I think I'm pretty set. I think. I say that, but I like changed my list like this morning.
Yeah, I changed mine tonight.
Yeah. Vito still is trying to make.
Yeah, literally when these guys walked in the basement, I was like, I don't know, man. This one's going to go up here. And I don't know.
Exactly.
This one goes here, and this one goes over here. And that's all wrong.
Because I like more than I dislike. There's only a few of the Marvel Cinematic movies that I'm like, I don't really care if I ever see that again, So, I mean, some of them are at the very least good, and then some of them are great, So yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go around the table, and the Trailer Park Girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Right?
5 times. Yep. 2
Yep.
more times. Give it.
I don't know what did we just turn it just turned into like retro 90s, like Green Day and Blink-182 and Eminem, and I don't know what is wrong with us. But anyway, we're going to go around the table, and we're going to just name the titles. We'll go with our 5s, our 4s, 3s, 2s, 1s. Then after that, we will discuss each movie, because inevitably, we already know, we've discussed it a little bit. There's some where Megan and I have chosen the same movies, or some where Vito and I have chosen, etc., etc. Rather than wasting any more time than I already waste, because I know I waste a lot of time. See, look at their faces. They're like, fuck yeah, this fucking clown wastes time. Rather than us talking about one movie 3 different times, we're just going to combine it all and talk. So
We're going to try to do anyway.
yeah. And normally, for anybody who has watched these before and might be like, well, wait a minute, what about the viewers poll?
I
Because
didn't forget about you guys.
No.
yeah, if you didn't already see, we have decided to give the viewers poll results its own video rather than cramming it.
Jiminy cramming it in there.
Yeah, Jiminy cramming it. Rather than cramming it in as part of this and making this that much longer, and we can't really talk as much about it as we'd like to. It's its own video, and we'll show you. We'll have a link to where they can find that and everything, probably down in the description or something like that. So yeah, if you're interested about what all you guys ended up voting, because we did our social media online poll, and we got some good results.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. So we did a whole separate video for that. You can go and check that out separately. But this is all about us, man. It's all about us. Yeah, without wasting any more time, I've already wasted enough time. Let's get into top 5 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Here we go. All right, you want to start, Vito? You go with your...
Sure. So number 5 is Black Panther.
Ooh.
Nice. Megan?
Mine's Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh.
Yeah, we like that one.
You did.
And then mine, which I hemmed and hawed about, but mine is 2012's The Avengers. You had to get in there. Just had to get it in there. So, all right. Black Panther, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and The Avengers are number 5s. Moving on to the number 4s.
I have a little person called Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Really? Okay.
Oh, I thought it'd be a little
Interesting.
higher.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
This is very hard. Folks. We'll get into that. Megan, you're number 4?
My number 4 is a little known guy called Doctor Strange.
Ooh,
Oh, okay.
it's a strange one.
It is.
See?
Strange.
Because his name is Doctor Strange, and it was a little strange.
Oh, so clever. Wow. Even more clever is that my number 4 is Doctor Strange.
Wow.
And I didn't even plan that out. It just happened that way.
Copycat.
Copying each other again, huh? I
Yep.
see how it is.
Shit. Copy off of me. You know it. You know it. Don't lie.
We'll take care of this afterwards.
Gotta get socked in the eye. Gonna dot my eye. All right. So number 4s were...
Captain Marvel.
and Doctor Strange. Oh, knocking the hammer around. All right, so not wasting any more time. Trace.
This is a sequel, believe it or not, called Iron Man 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You might be one of the only people that I know of that would put that movie in their top
Wow.
5. So
Much
that-
less at number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over Doctor Strange and,
Yeah. Shit.
Captain Marvel and Black Panther and okay. Megan?
I went with a little tiny movie called Infinity War.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. It was up at the top and it got pushed down.
Knocking it down.
Knocked it
Trying to
down.
knock down
A couple pegs.
knock the big boys down a couple of pegs. Yeah.
Yep.
Just show them who's
That's
boss.
what the whole movie's about. So.
That's true. That's valid. All right. Well, my number 3 is a movie that Vito probably won't want to talk about at all.
I can only guess.
It is a sequel, and it is Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Excellent choice.
I think it's an excellent choice. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one. I don't say nothing, Vito. Not a word.
Nothing? Just no. Can't even save it. You're not even allowed to talk.
We're trying to get this podcast moving.
Yeah. All right, so
for the sake of the argument, I just will shut up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So number 3, we had Iron Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. Infinity War.
Oh, we're off to a great start.
Like, wait, what?
And Guardians of the Galaxy 2. All right, and then speaking of a lot of 2s there, now we're moving on to number 2. So Vito, what's your number 2, man?
I have a sequel for number 2.
No
Yeah.
way.
Sequel man? Pick
Yeah.
the fucking, if you guys don't know, Vito, he's sequel man. The
Loves
sequels.
the sequels.
He always loves the sequels. Yeah.
Sucker for the sequels.
I am, man. They just moved the story along so well.
All
So this sequel is a little one called Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Nice.
Nice.
I agree with that one. And that's your number 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I
Damn,
fucking
yeah.
love that movie.
I'm not going to argue it, but it's just interesting. All right, Megan, you're number 2?
I went with a little blockbuster Captain Marvel.
Oh.
Okay, so she made it in there.
She made it in there.
Kind of thought that might be your number 1.
Yeah, I have one that's got to beat her out
Okay.
for now, anyway.
All right. So my number 2 is the one that most people would have thought would be my number 1 because it was for the longest time. And that is also a sequel, which is Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anxious to talk about that one. All right. So we had yours
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Captain Marvel.
and Captain America, Winter Soldier. These lists are all over the place, man. Interesting. How could 3 people be so different?
What?
And we really didn't plan it this way either, folks. We're just
Just how we are.
this is how we are. It is. All right, so the big red one. Number 1. Vito, you're number 1.
This is hard because I had to kind of cheat. Because I can't decide which one I like, but it's the Captain America trilogy.
Yeah,
Going with
that's
all 3
And
of them,
that's
huh?
I know.
that's big time cheating.
Yeah, if I had to really choose though, it's got to be Winter Soldier though.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had to be pinned down, it'd be Winter Soldier. So I'll go with that. Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Okay, but we could talk about all
Yeah,
3.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine. But all right, Megan.
I went with a great fucking amazing movie, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Wow.
Fuck yes.
Made number 1.
Number 1.
Number 1, all you haters. Ha!
Love that movie.
I do too. But that was my 3, not my number 1.
That's a shame. So what was your number 1?
My number 1 is a big bombastic bumfuck of a movie known as Avengers Infinity War. I had to go with Infinity War, man. That movie just knocked my socks off. It really did. And we'll get into it. But all right, yeah, the big ones. So Avengers Infinity War and Guardians 2 and Captain America.
Yeah.
All right. Can't argue with that.
Solid top 5s, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot to talk about here. So, all right. Do we want to just
Let's
delve
do
right
it.
into it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's just dump in.
Let's dump it.
Let's just dump in. Just go take a dump in. Let's just jump in. Well, I'll start with mine because I don't think nobody mentioned this one. Avengers 2012. Okay, so this movie wasn't in my top 5 originally. Originally, number 5 was going to go to 2008's Iron Man because Iron Man's it started the whole thing, and Iron Man is a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love that movie. So don't think for people that think like maybe it's like, well, how can you not like this? Like we said, we like all of them almost. But
Yeah.
the reason why this one beat out Iron Man was because honestly, while I acknowledge that it's the movie that kicked it off and it's awesome, I like Iron Man better when he's playing off the other characters
In like an ensemble type of role.
Yeah. In fact, and if you think about a lot of the movies that I picked, at least 3 of the 5 of them are ensemble movies, and then even the so-called standalones are still kind of set up in more of that ensemble thing. You know, Doctor Strange, Winter Soldier. To me, Winter Soldier is still kind of an ensemble movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I prefer these characters on the whole when they're interacting with the other characters and stuff. And as much as I like Iron Man, I've seen it quite a few times and stuff, I find myself going back to Avengers, the first Avengers movie more. Like, I find myself, like, when it's on TV a lot anymore, it seems like they play it on TBS and those ones like that. And so, if it's on, I watch it, you know.
So if you had one channel showed Iron Man and another one showing Avengers,
I'd watch Avengers.
you just pick Avengers.
Right, exactly. And that's why I was like, it's got to beat out Iron Man. You know, Iron Man, again, props to it because it's great. I love the whole bit in the desert and stuff.
Dude, that's I think the best origin story out of all of these.
Yeah, it's up there. It's definitely up there. Yeah, if we were doing origin stories, it'd be tough. You know, because there's a couple other real good origin stories. But yeah, that whole thing in the desert with him making the Type 1 Iron Man suit, fucking love that. I love that in the comic books and stuff. But you just can't beat, I mean, that whole scene when they first face off against Loki and that in Germany, and Iron Man and Captain America for the first time are fighting against Loki together, and then Thor comes in and steals Loki. I mean, that whole thing, like, it was the kind of thing that gave you tingles. You're like, I can't believe I'm watching a movie that has this happening right now. Like, I just remember, you know, growing up a comic book fan being like, holy shit. Like, I just watched Thor try to knock down Captain America and hit the shield, and it made the blast so big it like blew up. You know, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, and for that, this has to be in the top 5. It just,
that's fair.
you know. What do you guys like that movie?
I honestly forgot about everything about that movie until you just talked about it right now.
It's a great
much,
movie.
Yeah, because I know I've seen it, but I'm not a Thor fan. I'm not a Loki fan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my
So
God.
I can give a shit less about those two.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thor Ragnarok almost made my list.
Really?
He was in it until tonight.
that was the third one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
With Hulk and all that. Yeah. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard they changed the formula of what Thor is, or I guess the overall vibe of that movie is a little bit different.
Ragnarok is more comedic. It's got more in common with the feel of a Guardians movie.
Okay. Kind of like, is it Infinity War where Thor is with the Guardians and they're kind of hopping? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like that dynamic for the most part, I guess.
Yeah.
Ragnarok's kind of like that.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
Kind of, yeah. But
All right.
It's got more comedic value to it.
All right.
It's worth a shot.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll get
Just yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
just yeah.
Just
But
yeah.
anyway, it's hard to I'm trying to think there's no quick way to sum that up. But yeah, basically.
Thor Ragnarok. Just yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's the tagline for that movie. Just yeah.
But anyway, and you like the first Avengers movie, right?
Yes, I did. I don't remember a lot about it, but I remember when I watched it, I enjoyed it. And I don't think I've ever seen Iron Man 1 or 2 or
Wow.
3.
Wow.
Actually.
Wow.
I've seen bits and pieces.
People are like, why are you guys even talking about this then? It is what it is, man. Like what we like, you know,
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah, but
Because if you were listening to some other podcasts, they'd be fucking jizzing their pants over Hulk and Thor. All 3 or 7 guests that are on that show, but we like to do it differently, right?
Keep everybody on their toes, that's all.
yeah, I prefer not to jizz all over Hulk and Thor. Anyway, all right. Well, then we won't dwell any more on it. But yeah, that was why Avengers is my number 5. So I don't know. Let's move on to the next one. All right. So moving on, we'll go to another one of the number 5s. Well, Vito, why don't we talk about Black Panther?
Black Panther. So I had seen this after the theater release.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think after even Infinity War or something.
we
like
all
that.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all late to the party
Yeah.
with that one.
I think I was homesick and I ended up watching this or something, but I loved it, man. When it comes to Marvel movies, I'm really into the technology aspect of stuff.
Okay.
which this movie has. And I just love the idea that there's this, what you would think is a poor third world backwards country in Africa who is actually the most like technologically advanced society on the planet pretty much.
Yep.
And they have all this tech and they can like do all this shit. I love that concept. And the action I thought was incredible.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Black Panther is amazing in that role.
Yeah.
His sister's amazing.
She's great.
That movie is really well cast.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
everybody's
perfectly
cast,
cast,
great.
I think.
Forrest Whitaker
Oh yeah.
as the elder. Really well cast. I definitely give it that.
Yeah. So yeah, basically what I look for in a movie from Marvel Cinematic Universe is just a bunch of action and cool tech. So story-wise and character development, whatever. But give me a badass action scene and some cool tech, I'm all about it. And that is why Black Panther made my number 5 in my top 5 list.
Yeah, that sounds about right for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vito's
That
not
sums
like.
it up pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's not true. I can't say that. It's not like you don't like, because you do get invested in like deep stories and stuff like that. But it seems like from these kind of movies, you're like,
To me, it's like a superhero movie, so I just want to see dudes beating the shit out of each other and cool stuff happen,
Yeah.
and that's it.
gotcha.
You know, and I do suffer from superhero burnout, unfortunately.
Okay.
But then when we go to see one of these movies in the theater, I'm like, oh fuck, dude, I'm like jazzed up to go see this again.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, and that, I mean, yeah, folks, because there's something to be said for that. Because I think these movies they're great to watch at home. They're great to watch on your big 70-inch, LED TV and all that. It's awesome. But there's something to be said for seeing them in the theater, like they're made for that.
yeah,
I mean, think
It's
about
like you can feel it.
right.
especially in
theater.
that Dolby.
Yeah, Dolby. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can really feel it there.
Yeah,
That's the way to go, man.
yeah. If any of you folks, some of you, I know it's not available everywhere, but if any of you folks get the opportunity to go see it in that Dolby, what do they call it, like Dolby Digital or whatever,
I think
Dolby
so, yeah.
Cinema,
Mm.
where you sit in the big comfy chairs and it's got better picture, it's got amazing surround sound, and they have like things that make the seats vibrate. You might think that's like kitschy, like like
It's not, man.
it's
It's not.
for movies like this. Yeah, when we went and saw all Infinity War, The Predator, we went and saw these movies. They were Solo.
So yeah,
We
man.
went and saw, like, it really enhanced it. It really makes a difference, and it's not the same thing. I watched Solo at home. I still like that movie, but
Not the same.
not the same, man. I'm so glad we went and saw it at the theater. So
And it's a little bit more expensive. I think it's like $10 more or something like that. But
a little bit, not even that
no,
much.
it's worth it, man. Just spend the extra few bucks, you'll definitely get it out.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, for certain movies, if you're going to see like
Dumbo. Fucking stay home. Don't even go to the theater for that piece of shit. Why would you go see Dumbo, man?
what's wrong with Dumbo? Come on, man.
No, I'm sorry. Stop making live action Disney films.
Well, that
or
I
when you
Yeah.
say it's a live action and it's just the Lion King in fucking CGI, that's not live
That's
action,
not live
all right?
action, yeah.
I can't argue with that
Yeah.
at all. That
Got
I
you
agree.
there. Yeah, we're with you there.
That I gotta agree with you. But
But Black Panther would have been awesome to see in that Dolby.
Yeah.
And we missed it.
yeah.
We suck.
But it is a great movie. It yeah. It does deserve to be.
Gotta get that time portal back up and running.
Right.
Oh, get
Get-
working.
Come on.
I'll do some research on it. We'll figure it out.
Some duct tape, some glue, and some duct tape, and
We're back in for business.
Yep.
Yep.
It's some YouTube video at 4 a.m. before work. I just
If people don't know what we're talking about, you gotta go watch some of our old videos, because maybe we could put a link in there or
Yeah.
something. But anyway, yeah, I think Black Panther, it belongs in a top 5 list. It didn't make mine, but that being said, there were other movies.
So many great movies.
Yeah, there were other movies that were painful for me to leave out,
Mhm.
and everything. But Black Panther is a great movie, and it's a milestone for movies and Marvel and everything. So, anything more you got to say about that?
No, I think I've said everything.
You sure about that?
I'm sure. Yeah.
You sure about that? All right, cool. Well, let's move on then. We'll talk about Megan's number 5. All right.
All right.
Oh my gosh. All right. So we're going to move on to Megan's choice. Your number 5 was also Vito's number 3.
I believe so.
And that was?
No, it's my number 2. I'm sorry.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was
This
up
is
there.
number 2. Okay.
Oh,
Well.
okay. Interesting. All right. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, there you go.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is one that we all went and saw at the
and
theater.
We loved it in the theater.
Oh,
Fuck,
man.
how awesome was that experience in the theater seeing this movie?
We,
I mean,
we
We were
laughed so
dying.
hard, man. Yeah,
Michael Pena.
Pena.
Oh,
Pena?
dude.
Mike
Oh, my
Pena.
God. That fucking guy.
oh, my God.
All 3 of them, him and T.I. and the other guy.
Oh, yes.
my God.
Yeah, what were they called again, their group? I can't remember. But
Ex-cons?
Ex-cons,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
They like sold the whole fucking movie.
Fuck yeah.
They stole the show.
Everybody was great in that movie. I mean, it was another one where, I mean, Marvel, Disney don't go wrong
Mm-mm.
too often with the casting. Not
Yeah.
anymore, anyway. Some of their older movies.
Yeah,
But
Michelle Pfeiffer and
She was-
Michael
Douglas.
Douglas,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They're de-aging of them and everything.
Yeah, it was really
I
good.
love them as
That was amazing.
the Pims.
I couldn't
right?
believe him. Yeah, I couldn't believe what they did with the de-aging process in that movie. That was
Yeah, they're getting pretty good at it. It's in
Yeah.
several of their movies now.
I mean, I was impressed with the X-Men stuff like 5-6 years ago or whatever
Right.
that was. But now it's like, okay, what are you guys doing? This is like magic.
It's very magic.
I mean, these actors aren't even going to be alive anymore. They're going to be starring in blockbuster movies.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
they
I mean,
already
it's
do
insane.
that. Look at the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
When you've got, Princess Leia and Grand Moff Tarkin and these
Yeah.
people having starring roles and they're not even around
it's
anymore.
crazy, man.
Yeah. But,
It's a music hologram tour in the fucking theater, man. It's,
yeah. But yeah, why did you choose this one?
I just think it's fucking hilarious. I love Ant-Man. I love the way Paul Rudd brought it to life. It's freaking hilarious. I love both movies, but if I had to choose one, I think I would choose Ant-Man and the Wasp because I like the dynamic of him and the Wasp, like learning to trust each other and work together again after
Right.
his betrayal of them
Right.
in the last one.
their chemistry together is perfect.
perfect,
It's
yeah.
awesome. It's so good.
And then what are they in the classroom closet when he's like changing sizes and shit?
It's so good.
Like a little kid.
Yes, that was so fun.
Some of the CG looked a little wonky in some of those scenes, but
It's okay.
overall
It
it was
kind of-
fucking hilarious.
The wonky CG kind of made it funnier.
Yeah, for this, perfect.
Yeah, it actually
Give me the wonky CG on Ant-Man any day.
it kind of made it even more comedic, in a good way. So, yeah, this is a great movie. Again, not one that I liked enough to make my top 5, but probably top 10.
See, I had a friend make a comment on Facebook. It's like they're getting sick of all the Marvel stuff. And they're like, okay, Endgame, just please come out so people can stop talking about this already. And his comment was, like, movies like this and stuff are aimed towards the lowest common denominator, I think is how he put it.
Yeah,
It's like, because we're not
whatever.
comic book nerds.
Right.
I don't know jack shit about comic books. But these kind of movies are fun to me because I don't need to know about the comic books to enjoy this movie.
Yeah, me too, because I don't know about the comics at all. I
Right.
mean, Larry's our resident comic expert.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so he fills us in on what we need to know. And
Yeah, exactly.
if we need to know it, and we're good. So I really enjoy this. It's just a fun flick.
That totally makes sense. That's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying it shouldn't be in your top 5. It totally makes sense why it would be in your guys' top 5 because what you just said. I'm looking at things. I have a different perspective on it because I'm a big time comic book nerd. I know all this stuff.
Right.
Now that being said, I can still enjoy these regardless of that. But yeah, it's hard for me to, I wouldn't necessarily put a storyline like Ant-Man's storyline over, Winter Soldier or something, or even a Civil War or something like that,
Yeah, I'm with Vito on this one. It's not so much the storyline, it's the entertainment value for it that I got out of it personally.
Yeah.
That's why.
I mean, the ghost villain character I love characters that can like phase shift and travel through space and just awesome.
Time and space, time and relative dimensions
Yeah.
in space.
And the idea that their whole entire lab they can squeeze into a suitcase
Yeah.
and expand at whim whenever they want is just awesome.
Yeah. No,
The little thing of Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
with the different
Oh my!
cars.
How awesome was that? And little sound of when it's jumping and stuff. We were rolling in the fucking aisles at the theater, man. That shit was so goddamn funny.
no, nothing made us laugh as much as the bloop.
That was
See, you just thinking about it now. You guys were crying laughing at that. It was awesome. But yeah, you know what? Again, I mean, if we were talking about even just simply talking about movies, Marvel movies that had the top 5 most rewatchable, which to me is a different kind of category, you know? Yeah, this movie's like so rewatchable. Like I could watch this movie. I could go watch it right now, like and enjoy the shit out of it.
Oh, yeah.
You know. So
We should do that actually.
yeah, we should
do this. Let's go watch Ant-Man and the Wasp.
But yeah, solid. I totally agree with you. So I think you made the right choice.
I think we did too.
Nice.
All
right. Well, let's move on to hitting some of those number 4s.
Let's do it.
Since we both chose it, let's just kill 2 birds with 1 stone, as they say. And we will talk about Doctor Strange.
Love it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
So for me, this ends up being the only origin story that actually made my list. I the origin stories are okay, but like I said, I like the ensemble stuff better and everything. But this one, kind of like what you were just talking about with why Ant-Man and stuff like works for you guys so well. So one of the things that I like about Doctor Strange is the fact that it works, I believe, on its own merits. Like it doesn't have to be part of the Marvel universe, although I mean obviously it factors into it and everything. But I think that this is just a good standalone movie, you know?
Yes, I agree.
This is one that like I would recommend to people. Like if you're like, I don't know about Marvel. I'm not like a Marvel. I don't know about all that and everything.
Well, in fact, you did because you recommended it to Vito because he's like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it was like, this guy has magic powers. Yeah, okay, I'm going to watch this one. But I did. It was on TV one. I didn't see the whole movie. I think I missed the first 20 minutes of it, but I really enjoyed it, man. I was glued to the screen the whole time. So it was good.
Yeah, I was really skeptical at how they were going to pull this off. You know, in today's day and age, yeah, exactly. They're going to make a movie about some mystical superhero comic sorcerer guy.
Yeah.
Like, and I love the comics. Like, I'm way into the comics and stuff. But I really didn't know if they were going to pull that off. But Benedict Cumberbatch.
I was just going to say, they started it with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Do you think if they got somebody else to do it, that it wouldn't be good?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say it wouldn't be good, but I think that they may
He just nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, because he can yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
He's just so good about playing an asshole that you
Took
love
words
to
out of my
hate, but you still love him. He was like, I like him, but I hate him. So he just pulls it off so well. I just can't imagine anybody else being Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And pulling it off like he does.
Well, because there are similarities in some ways to Sherlock Holmes, you know, and everything. Because, you know, he plays Sherlock Holmes in it. And
okay, so he was on the TV show Sherlock.
Yes.
So that's where I know him from best then. Okay.
Right.
Because I've seen Star Trek.
Into Darkness.
Yeah. That was okay.
He was good. It was good. It was okay.
But you know who I could see if Benedict Cumberbatch did not exist in our universe, Jonathan Frakes from 1993 could have played a good Doctor Strange.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he's more old school Doctor Strange. Like that would have, if they would have made a Doctor Strange movie back in '92, like, absolutely. Jonathan Frakes would have been, but that's a different kind of, you know what I mean? That would have been because he would have played a little more serious and everything, whereas Cumberbatch added that kind of, he's just good at being like that fucked up sarcastic humor mixed with narcissism, mixed with, you know, intensity and all this stuff. Yeah. I think he was great at it.
Yeah. He's amazing.
So,
love him.
Yeah.
I'm a Cumberbitch.
Is that what they're called?
That's what they call.
Wow.
Now the only
Team Cumberbitch.
Wow.
You guys could have found a nicer name. Why are you calling yourself bitches? Come on.
See, that. I would think that would be an insult to him. Oh, you mean that Benedict Cumberbatch fucking guy?
Oh, you know, he's
come
probably
on.
been
They get his
called
name
that.
wrong all the time.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
I know there's like a group out there that like will make like my friend Nikki is into this. She'll make like pictures of Benedict Cumberbatch as like Benedict Cucumberbatch or something, where he's like a cucumber and stuff. So
yeah. Benedict Bandersnatch. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But the only thing I will say about this movie, and it's not a big deal, so it definitely wasn't anything worth knocking this movie out of my, because this movie was firmly in my top 5. But the villains, you know, kind of.
I can't even think of who the villain is in this.
I can't remember his name because he had that goofy name, but it was the whole there was formerly the pupil and everything that wanted to. He was trying to get his hands on the stone and everything so that he could take over, and he was going to bring Dormammu into. Remember, Dormammu, I've come to bargain with the time loop, which is
that's right. That's
awesome.
at the end of the movie. Yeah.
Which is awesome. I love
that.
That was a brilliant way to end the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, because as we've well established, we like timey-wimey kind of things. You know, see our last month's thing. We talk about time travel. We love timey-wimey stuff, time messing with stuff. I love that whole ending of the movie with the battle in Hong Kong and when everything goes backwards, and then he traps Dormammu. Spoilers. He traps Dormammu in that time loop, and you just see all these different ways that Dormammu keeps killing Doctor Strange, but he keeps coming back. And like that was brilliant, because you're literally like, how the hell is he going to get out of this? You know. And it was just that kind of thing. That was so sci-fi, like some storyline you'd see on some Outer Limits kind of thing. Yeah. I love that.
There's a 90s Outer Limits thing where they do that.
Something like that. And I love that. So while the villain, like I said, the villain was kind of like, you know, as soon as I saw that villain, I mean, we kind of know how these movies are going to end up anyway, you know, but as soon as I saw that villain in that movie, when I was like, who are they going to do? And I was like, oh yeah, okay, this bitch is toast. Like, you know, like you already know. You know? It's like,
let's show her how we do things downtown.
Yeah, exactly. I just, you know, but that being said, like Wong is a great character.
I fucking love Wong, dude. He is so awesome.
Yeah. It was just another, it was one of those movies, even like in the more serious scenes, like when Strange winds up back at his old hospital and he's dying and all that stuff, and he's having the out of body battle and everything, and he keeps coming back and he's freaking out his old girlfriend. Like just the way they did that, it was cool. And I know some people objected to what's her face being the master, and that they didn't hire an actual Asian actor or actress.
Is that how it is, like in the comic books or something?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I understand what they're saying, but I don't know. She's one of those actors that, you know, I've seen her play men, I've seen her play women, I've seen her play young, I've seen her play old. She's just one of those. It's like, just, you know, it didn't bother me. I
thought
care.
she was great as the master.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, if they would have done something like that, like for Black Panther or something, it's like, okay, no, cool, not cool, bro. Like, you can't do that.
You're not Ugandan,
but
or Wakandan.
Wakandan, yeah, you can't do that, you know. But for this character, I was like, I think this one kind of there she is. It kind of skates by, you know.
They did that. Well, they gave Scarlett Johansson some shit when she played the Ghost in the Shell chick.
Right.
She wasn't Asian or whatever. But
and again, and I can even, to a degree, I can understand that. I can see their point in that, you know. But like I said, for this particular character, I don't know. It didn't bother me that much, you know. Maybe because there's such a metaphysical aspect to the character anyway. And I mean, it was a diverse cast anyway.
I do like Doctor Strange's costume outfit. I think he looks really badass in that, man. And I love his cape, how it's, you know, by its own entity. And it can do,
exactly.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. And
I love the cape.
Yeah. Exactly, that it's its own character and everything. Yeah, I love this movie. Anything? I'm sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking as usual. Anything else you want to say about it? Yeah,
I love how he's a surgeon. He relies on his hands and everything, and he they're all fucked up after was that crash.
Yeah, the crash.
And
Yeah, the
he's
crash.
like desperate to get him fixed so he can be back to the doctor and stuff. And instead, he becomes a wizard, sorcerer, or whatever. And he still relies heavily on his hands.
Yeah.
So I love that he's still so hand centric, I guess.
I'm sure he's
So
got
it translated so well. Surgeon hands.
Ego.
No, I was going to say a huge insurance policy on
Oh,
his hands.
that's not what I thought you were going to say. Meg was like, I do love hands.
I bet you the Cumberbitches want to know how big, Benedict's
His hands
are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, totally. That's why I was so fascinated with the hands. It's like I like that transition. I dig the hands.
That boy puts the dick in Benedict. Sorry. I couldn't help myself. I'm trying really hard, folks. I'm trying to keep it clean, but that was set right up there for me to knock it down, man.
Wow.
So, no, I agree. I mean, yeah, it's a subtle thing, but I love the idea. Well, that he went to. Well, that was the whole thing, is that he went to go heal. His initial whole thing is that he wanted to heal himself, and then it was like, well, don't worry about that. There's more to the world than you and everything, and now it's about his mind. I mean, his hands, was great, but it was always his brain that was what
Superior.
really made him, amazing.
Like Peyton Westlake in Darkman.
Oh wow! Take the fucking elephant.
Larry and I had a huge Darkman conversation the other night, and that's why it's in there.
Did. We sure did. That's a whole other podcast, Vito. But anything else you want to say about Doctor Strange?
Yeah, I loved, in addition to his hands, I loved watching him go from this egocentric asshat,
Yeah.
That's a good point. To put it.
dickhole, being knocked down a few pegs, and actually like being more encompassing of what, like you said, of the world and stuff. It's not all about him and him becoming a better person through the movie. I like the growth of his character throughout
Absolutely.
the movie.
And that was
He's still an asshat, but he's a more likable asshat.
egotistical, like still narcissistic and egotistical. But yeah, that growth was really important to where he wound up in Infinity War.
War,
Yeah, absolutely. So cool.
So that's about all I have. It's amazing.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about the other number 4.
The fault is Captain.
Yeah.
Which Captain?
Marvel
or Marvel for
Yeah.
me, because I don't know what this Marvel bullshit is all about. But yeah, Captain Marvel, which we just literally saw 2 weeks ago or something, 3 weeks
like
ago.
a few
More than
weeks
that,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a month ago.
Yeah, okay. And I gotta tell you, man, this movie was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So I am a '90s kid.
Yeah.
I
As
was
am
born.
I.
Yeah. So I was born in '82, but my entire existence was part of the '90s because that's the greatest decade of all time. Don't listen to Larry because he's gonna say it's the '70s. I'm sure.
Or the 80s.
It sure ain't the 90s. Let's put
Larry's
that-
least favorite decade is the '90s.
just about. Just
2000s,
about.
maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, but all the '90s references had me hooked from the beginning. Actually, no, what had hooked me from the beginning was the spaceship doing that polygon, hexagonal time
Yeah.
shift. Because I love spaceships when they do some weird jump in space. So this movie had me hooked from the beginning.
Yeah, it's
It
Vito.
did. The de-aging on Samuel L. Jackson was
Yeah.
awesome.
Like right there. Yeah,
it was
look at
really
that.
fucking good.
That's amazing.
And he is awesome in pretty much every movie he's in. And this movie was no exception at all.
I loved him most in this one. I love how he was so softer
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
one. So as before the world came down on him and he saw all this other weird fucked up shit, he was more innocent and more open to everything.
And he played it just like that. Like he played it how he should have played it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
The actress that did Captain Marvel, is it Brie Larson?
Brie Larson,
Mhm.
yeah.
She was great. I know there's some controversy with this movie,
Nah,
but dude,
whatever.
whatever, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This movie was awesome. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Yeah. The cat
Exactly.
in this movie was
Goose.
absolutely Goose was absolutely brilliant.
And I love it gave us the phrase "mother flirkin."
Yeah.
With the flirkin.
Yeah.
I mean, we can use it in Infinity.
Right, yeah.
It's flirkin.
Much like fracking from Battlestar Galactica.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we got flirkin.
Yeah.
Mother flirkin.
The action in this movie, which is what I usually go to for a Marvel movie, was off the charts amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Action scenes were great. Special effects were awesome. I
Not
love
a whole lot of technology in this one.
No, not
you,
really.
Because it's so retro.
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah. But
Still loved it.
Yeah, it was still good. The scroll
Yeah.
were awesome. I love that twist. Which we're going to spoil it for you, but they're not really the bad guys.
Right.
At the end of the movie, I thought that was brilliant.
Which is controversial to a lot of comic book nerds because the Skrulls are
bad guys for sure,
big time baddies, and always kind of have been more or less. And but I personally liked the twist because otherwise, again, it would make it too predictable, because that's how I was feeling. I was like, okay, well, where's I didn't know initially about the twist, so when I found the twist, when I found out that there was a twist like that, I was like, okay, all right, cool, because I love, like I said in our review, I'm a huge Captain Marvel fan, the original Marvel as well as Carol Danvers and stuff. So I was very anxious, but some trepidation. So I love what they did. I like that it's different. I thought they did a great job. What about you? What was your favorite stuff about this? Because you ranked this one real high.
Everything.
Yeah.
The music was fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
The
Great
one fight
soundtrack.
scene didn't really fit, but I still love the song anyway. I love the fight scene, so whatever.
Yeah.
I love the Flurkin cat. I loved the Flurkin and Nick Fury together.
Yeah.
Cracked me up.
Yeah, that was great.
That was amazing.
Probably the best chemistry in the movie, probably. Was
Absolutely.
him and, right?
Goose and Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How he lost his eye and everything. That was so fun.
That's hilarious.
Because it's funny because they teased us a couple times about, he's in a car crash. Oh, that's where it happens, right?
Yep.
Nope.
It's like, nope. Just kidding. And I loved Danvers and her friend Maria, her Air Force or
her
military pilot friend.
Yeah.
I love that dynamic.
And her
chemistry,
daughter,
and
too. That was really good.
I super love that.
Yeah.
I love that she didn't have to have a love interest to make this interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, screw that. I get it's girl empowerment and everything, but they didn't like cram it down our throats the whole time. They didn't need to. They just made her an amazing, strong character that can hold her own.
And that's what a lot of the controversy was, and I did not get that at all. Like they were saying, this is super feminist down your throat. It's like, no, dude,
No,
it
wasn't.
A badass action star who...
If that movie would have been exactly the same, but it would have been a dude, and nobody would have thought twice about it. They would have been like, oh yeah, it's a typical superhero story, but because it's a woman, they're like, oh... It's like, fuck you guys, shut up.
To me, a woman empowerment movie, that's what it should be.
Right.
To me.
And they did, yeah, I mean, she still had vulnerability without making her like a damsel in distress. Right.
Exactly. Or like, I am woman, I'm going to do this.
They didn't make her obnoxious either. No.
Like the American Ninja Warrior and stuff were like, I am going to be the first woman, I'm going to do it, woman. And it's like, can you just be the first person? How about that?
If you constantly point out, I'm a woman, you're just diluting the whole thing. Just make it about you as a person, that you've got these skills and you can do it.
Exactly.
That's all you need to do.
Exactly.
Well,
it's like nobody else has made it to the top. How about you just be the first one to do that? How about that? You don't have to be a woman. Just be a person.
Well, but it's also because people put that on women, as you know, so I don't totally blame the women.
Being a woman, it annoys the shit out of me, so stop doing it.
Right. But anyway... Yeah, it's a great movie. It's too new for me, and this is a good example of. I'll be curious to see how I feel about this movie and the character and everything after Endgame.
That's right.
Because she's going to be important in Endgame.
Yeah.
So after Endgame, I mean, depending on what happens, like I might just be like, oh man,
It's funny because when we saw Infinity War, the post-trailer scene where Fury gets that, and Megan and I were like, what is this?
And now it's
Larry's
one of
like,
our
oh my
favorites.
God, you guys have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, whatever, dude.
And now it's like your guy's favorite. I told you it was awesome. See, Larry knows what he's talking about now and then.
Yeah, I love this movie from beginning with the Stan Lee tribute, which was amazing to see in the theater and to
that was
to
great.
be there with everybody to clap. That was an amazing experience. I got to be honest.
That was good.
All the way to the end with the Thor end scene.
The Avengers, the remaining Avengers.
With his hammer and everything. I beginning to end, loved it. Period.
Yeah, I can't argue.
Period, point blank.
Exclamation point.
I went and saw it a second time, and I liked it even more after I saw it a second time. I was like, okay, yeah, this is a great movie. It could wind up being in a top 5 for me eventually.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah.
It needs to come out already.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's only been like a month. It came out March 8th, and it's only like the middle of April now. It feels like a long time
Feels
ago.
like forever.
I know. So, but all right, yeah, that's a good choice, guys.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
All right, so moving on, we're going to talk about one of the kind of slightly controversial choices of Vito's old shellhead sitting right in front of him there. Your number 3 was... Look at that. Oh, that's killing me.
Yeah, if you're going to talk about this, you're going to have to put the mask on.
Does that look all right?
You're golden.
Literally.
So Iron Man, I'm probably not even going to...
No,
Can't even hear you.
Yeah,
You're all
okay.
mumbling now.
All right, so yeah, Iron Man 2 was your choice.
So you say controversial. I don't understand why it's so controversial that I like a sequel.
It's not controversial that you like a sequel. It's just this movie isn't generally considered to be like one of the better Marvel
That's weird.
movies.
Yeah, it's odd. I love the first Iron Man. Don't get me wrong. I think the origin story in that movie is one of the best out of the whole Marvel series.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I love Don Cheadle as War Machine. I think he's great. I just like how the tech is more advanced in the first one, obviously, because as I mentioned before, I'm all about action and technology in these movies.
Yeah, well, Iron Man's definitely
All about
that.
that.
Yeah.
That's why he's one of my favorite Marvel heroes for sure. But with this movie, there's just Mickey Rourke as Whiplash is really, really cool.
Yeah.
I think he's a better villain than what's his nuts?
Which one? Any of them?
Obadiah Stane from the first one.
Oh yeah,
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love
like
Jeff Bridges in
me
that movie.
too.
He was great. He was awesome.
But he just
But at
was,
the end of the day, it's just another guy in a suit, and you know.
yeah,
I don't know. I
kind
didn't
of
feel
a
that much
boring,
danger.
boring
Yeah.
motivation, sort of. Yeah.
I felt like Mickey Rourke could do some, and he does some serious damage to Iron Man.
Yeah.
Just man, I don't know. Just I love this movie for whatever reason. Mostly because it's a sequel. Mostly because there's a lot more action and technology involved in it, and that's my bread and butter when it comes to a Marvel movie, man.
Yeah, I get it. I like Don Cheadle coming in as inevitably becoming War Machine.
Yeah.
Because he's great.
Yeah.
And it's a cool character. Also introduction of Black Widow in this
Fuck
one.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how she comes into play in that one, and I actually almost forgot about that until just now. And to be fair, man, it's a movie I'm gonna have to revisit again because I saw it. Excuse me, I saw it back when it came out, and I saw it maybe twice. I think I even have the DVD. It even shows I haven't watched it. It was one of those ones that I don't remember exactly what it was. I think I loved the first one so much that the second one kind of felt like, And there's aspects of the Iron Man movies. Okay, like let's just address the 800-pound elephant in the room when it comes to Iron Man movies is fucking Paltrow. You know,
You don't like her?
I like her. I like Gwyneth Paltrow, and I would technically like Pepper Potts, the character. I don't like and especially by the third one. Well, and even we saw in Infinity War,
yeah.
they make her so fucking unreasonable.
Yeah.
They make her too much that harpy girlfriend, wife kind of thing. That's just like, no, don't do it. No. It's like, look, I mean, I'm sorry. You're not dating a normal dude. You're dating Tony fucking Stark. He's Iron Man, for Christ's sakes. And you're going to be like, you better not go out there and save the world. It's like, okay.
That gets gradually more annoying as the series goes on, but
and that was starting to kind of creep in more for me with 2, and then it got worse with 3 and stuff like that. And I think that was a big part of, it would have just like, why I get that they're like, well, we got to make tension or whatever, but I don't know. Like, I would have loved to see Pepper Potts be more supportive. You know what I mean?
She could have been a badass in her own right.
Right. And I thought they were going to kind of do that with the third movie because there was that whole thing where she absorbed that
Extremis or whatever?
Extremis,
right?
yeah, and everything. I thought they were going to go that route, and then they just kind of went back to. I was like, oh man, yeah, because I like Paltrow. I really like her.
Is there some storyline where she gets a suit or something in the comics, or am I just thinking?
I think, or there was at the very least they were talking about it at one
Okay.
point, but. I don't know. That's kind of like that's really like my main criticism of the Iron Man sequels is I really would have liked if they made it. I would have bought into it more if they made it more like he didn't want to fucking keep doing it, because they kind of do address that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he was kind of more, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, and
she was pushing them,
she was the one to be like, no, fuck you, you got to be a man and go out there and do this, save the world, and not have her be like, no, Tony, I'm tired of this, you don't need that anymore. And I was like, ugh, boring. That's been done to death. Other than that, though, yeah, I agree with you with all the things you say. I like Mickey Rourke. I like Don Cheadle.
And I forget what his character name is, but the competitor to Tony Stark when they're at the Senate, he's got like he's making the drones or whatever with Ivan. There's a scene where Tony hacks into some network and he shows a clip of them testing the machines at this guy's factory, and the top torso spins and it breaks that guy's back.
Yeah.
Dude, that gives me chills.
Yeah,
man.
That's grim. Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that one.
Sorry.
But yeah, I hear you. Absolutely. No, it's cool. I'll have to revisit it, and you just need to see it, period, right?
Yeah. Got no idea what you two are on about, as usual.
Sorry. Well, anything else you want to say about Iron Man?
No, that's about it.
All right, well then, moving on. Let's talk about, your number 3 was Infinity War. And that was my number 1. My big
The
new
big
boy.
kahuna.
The big kahuna. He's like the biggest fish in the pond. Do you want to talk about Infinity War? Let's do it. Why not? All right, moving on. Infinity War. Yeah, let's just talk about Infinity War. Let's address it. Oh shit, Vito's got the old.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't
We're
do
not
it.
done yet. Don't.
Nope.
Put it down. Put it down. Be a good boy.
Good boy.
The power.
Heal. Yeah. It's so bad. Like the power glove. I got the glove. It's so bad. Wow. Anyway. Nintendo power, folks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Infinity War, like I said, I know that it's kind of a controversial number 1 because it's incomplete. I mean, essentially, this movie is the biggest cliffhanger of them all because half the again, spoilers, folks, half of the whole universe is dead, supposedly.
Which of the fallen are we going to avenge?
Right, exactly. So, I chose this even not knowing where we're going with it yet, although I kind of know.
You already read the spoilers on Wikipedia.
No, I didn't. They're not up yet. They're not up yet. I've looked. But I've read the comic books. And I know it's going to be different from the comic, but I kind of have a general idea. But anyway, But this movie just represents everything I want out of, like you're talking about, you want action, you want tech. For me, this represents everything I want out of it. I want, like I said, I loved all these characters. You know, there's certain characters that I've just really fallen for in terms of like, you know, can't get enough of them, whether it's Rocket and Groot or Thor or Star-Lord or Black Widow or Doctor Strange. Stop. Vito doesn't like Guardians, if you haven't figured that out yet. Even though he hasn't even really watched it yet. He's just
listen. I gave the first movie about 10 minutes worth.
Dude, you can't. Enough. It's not enough to judge it by that.
The guy was dancing to 70s disco. That's enough for me to know that I don't want to see.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's not. That's not what the whole movie's about.
I'll push you out of your chair again. You don't knock it off.
It's not even close. I bet if you would actually watch those movies, you'd be like, "Oh, these are pretty good." But anyway, I'm telling you, I'm gonna make you watch it sometime. But anyway, this just brought it all together. And like seeing these characters come together, like you throw some at me because there's so many. I mean, like Thor,
Doctor Strange, and Iron Man and the Hulk in there too. But and Iron Man, Tony Stark's relationship to Peter Parker, and especially
that was great.
The weight that carries at the end.
Yeah,
that was
everything.
Good.
Thor and Star-Lord, Thor and Rocket, or Rabbit. Sorry,
Rabbit. Yeah, come Rabbit. Yeah, exactly. You know, right. I mean, even and then, you know, although they played it down a little bit, but even like the stuff that was going on Earth, like, you know, seeing Shuri and Black Panther like getting involved now with the Avengers, like trying to work on Vision to figure out to remove the Infinity Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Even the different tribes in the Wakanda coming together. He's like, thanks for coming. He's
right.
like, nowhere else we'd be.
It was there was a lot of like hair-raising moments in that it was like, holy shit. Just for the same reason that I said I got excited about the first Avengers movie. This one was, you know, times 50. It was like seeing all these characters come together. The big fight in Wakanda against the alien invaders.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. This movie had everything. It had like gritty superhero action. It had outer space action. It had fighting in jungles and stuff. It had alien invaders. It had mystical shit. Even like the whole stuff like with Thanos, like every time he'd get the stone and the whole storyline with him and Gamora, and like it had everything I like about movies like this all wrapped up in one.
With a shitty ending.
Well,
far.
It wasn't a shitty ending. It was a movie kind of like Empire Strikes Back, or like, I know you guys probably have seen this, but like Watchmen or something. It's one of those movies where it doesn't have the happy wrapped up ending you want it to. It leaves you walking away feeling a little gutted, like, fuck, damn. And I like that shit, you know, sometimes, you know, you don't like that.
I hear you. I mean, for me, it's music. I like the unresolved note at the end of a song. You know, so I hear you on that for sure. This movie had a ton. Yeah, now that you're explaining it, it's bringing back memories of us watching it and how excited I was during the movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I was surprised. I thought it might.
Yeah, maybe.
At least an honorable mention.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I think my main issue was it had Thor, the Guardians cast, and Hulk in it. As
now,
pretty
you
main.
like some of the Guardians in this movie. You admitted it. You like
some of it.
Gamora's. Oh my gosh, what is her name? Gamora's sister.
Nebula.
Nebula was cool. Yeah, I like
all
Nebula.
the Drax and all. I mean, it's just like it's like I've got the favorite part that it turns out that it was improvised too. One of the best parts of the movie is when he's like. It was like, I've got one question for you. Where's Gamora? And I was like, I got a better question for you. Who's Gamora? And then Drax goes, I've got a better question for you. Why's Gamora? Like, he just, Because Drax is so dumb. Like he just says, "How can you not like the fucking Guardians? They're so fucking funny, man. You need to give those movies a chance. I'm telling you, after Endgame,
we're tying you down, and we're making you fucking watch
Endgame, you need to give those movies a chance.
I think the second one's on Netflix right now, but not the first one. So
watch
the
this.
second one's the best one.
Second one's way better.
But you kind of need to know what happens in the first one, right?
No.
Not really. They pretty much explain everything. We'll get into it because we're talking about that next.
Yeah, just hold on.
All right.
Yeah, just hold on. Hold it.
Hold it.
Simmer down now.
Simmer down. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I mean, Meg, you ranked this pretty high. This was your number 3. What do you got to say about Infinity War?
I'm with you. I enjoyed like all of the superheroes coming together in one movie. So it was so hard to choose which top 5 I wanted. This one had to be in here because I had everybody together. Yeah. I love the unusual combinations, Doctor Strange and Tony Stark, couple of asshats coming together.
Yeah.
And like dicking it off. Or, no. Let me rephrase that.
Not gonna touch it.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Got dick in the docket. I don't know what's going on over here.
Wow. It's all falling apart. We were doing so good.
I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. But them like power playing off of each other. I fucking love that. Thor and Star-Lord again.
Yeah.
Star-Lord like, I'm big and tough. I'm the most handsome. Like, you ain't no fucking god.
Yeah. Yeah, them like when Star-Lord tries to talk like Thor, and like,
he's like, why are you talking like that?
Okay, that was funny. I'll admit that was pretty fucking funny.
I'm telling you, there's a lot. Like they mixed like the perfect amount of humor in this movie that it needed because it was such a dark, depressing subject matter, especially like by the end. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously now we know because we've seen Captain Marvel and everything, but like for me, like one of the ultimate after credit scenes, because then, because then you're going to be like, oh, well, what's Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. going to do about this? They're not going to do shit because they fucking disappeared too. And you're like, and you almost get a motherfucker out of him.
Yeah,
he goes, mother. Awesome. And then, like I said, and then for the last thing to be that you find out that this is how they're going to introduce Captain Marvel, which at that point was only like a rumor almost. Like it wasn't like totally that was exciting.
Yeah, you lost your shit.
I lost my shit.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
I was like, oh shit, this is going to get so good now, man. If they're going to get into like some serious cosmic power shit, like fuck you, Thanos, because
Yeah, if you guys saw Fantastic Four was good, just wait.
Fuck you.
I actually like Fantastic Four. So
I've never seen it.
Really?
Never seen them. So there's mine. I've never seen none of the only Fantastic Four movie I saw was the Roger Corman one, which I kind of like. Actually,
yeah, there's some of that's really good.
But could have been.
I actually really like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. So that's one. So yeah, I don't know, something about those non-MCU Marvel movies. Here's one for you folks. I'm sure you people at home will be like, "What?" I even own them. I have never seen either of the Deadpool movies. I've never seen Deadpool, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, dude, how could you?"
Even Gary's seen Deadpool.
I know, and likes Deadpool.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's like reverse Garyism. You know how Gary doesn't like the shit. Like if he hears us talk about something, he's like, "Oh god, that probably sucks," because Gary doesn't like what we like. Well, if Gary's like, "Dude, the only good superhero movie is Deadpool," it's like, "Fuck, I don't want to see that now."
Deadpool was really good. Though.
It was really funny.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one, but the first one.
I own them. I got them. But I'll watch him eventually, man. It's we're
gonna strap him down and make him watch that.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. I'll watch the Deadpool movies. You're gonna watch Guardians, and we'll make her watch Iron Man.
There you go.
All right, that's a deal.
You're gonna like Guardians more than you think. I trust.
Maybe I will.
It's not. Maybe. It's not how you think it is.
Okay.
Especially like in in 2 when it gets into like Yondu, Michael Rooker, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
We just saw him in.
Yeah,
well, that was a while. It was
when he was
Wizard
at
World.
Wizard World, yeah. Dude, yeah, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Dude, trust me, it's It's good. We're gonna make you watch it.
Is he cool? Yeah, he's cool.
Dude,
Mary
you got-
Poppins, y'all.
It's yeah. Anyway, yeah. Well, we're segueing into our next one then,
We are.
which is
Let's
going to
do
be
it.
Guardians. So yeah, let's just go right into it. And so because Vito is not going to have much to say about it. But
No.
Megan's number one.
We are going to talk so great about this. He's going to want to watch it.
We've already talked a lot about it anyway. I mean, we don't have a whole hell of a lot more to say, but
Look at Groot.
yeah, there's your baby Groot.
I love this scene. Hi, come on.
Oh man, dude. Yeah, like, well, you go and tell him because Guardians was your number one.
Yeah, it's my number one. I love the opening scene there where, they're all like battling it out, hardcore and stuff. And baby Groot's just over there, just dancing away, just having a good old time. And he's like beating up these little rat-looking things
Yeah, that's funny.
the whole time. I just love it. I love everything about this movie.
Well, this movie. So what this movie ends up being about, okay, is it's all about like relationships, like the complexity of relationships.
I thought he was going to say the he said, she said bullshit. But he didn't.
It's close enough.
Every time it comes back to Limp Bizkit. Why? Why? Because it's all about the he said, she said bullshit. Oh my God. Anyway, no, it's this movie ends up being about like the first Guardians movie sets it up. The first Guardians movie to me is more goofy, and there's some goofiness in 2, but the goofiness in 2 is more akin to the goofiness you'd find in like Infinity War or something. It's not over the top. The first movie is a little bit more slapsticky and goofy, I think. Now, the funny thing is, for some strange reason that's completely alien to me, no pun intended, most people prefer the first Guardians movie. They love the first Guardians movie, and people do not like this movie.
So you're going to love it, Vito.
Maybe.
Right. So
There's a sequel, so yeah, it's got that going for it.
yeah, it's an incredible cast,
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell
Really?
plays
The dad. Yeah,
He plays
Ego.
Ego the Living Planet.
Okay.
I can't even explain it to you.
You just got to watch it.
When you see him like that, he's taking on a human form,
Okay.
but he's not
I got you.
human.
I got
Okay.
you. Okay.
And he's Quill's dad.
It turns out that because in the
Star-Lord's
first
dad.
movie, you find the whole thing is Quill doesn't know who his dad is, and
Does he get like shot out to space or something, and that's why he's out there, or like?
no,
No.
Yandu, Michael Rooker's character, comes down to Earth and kidnaps him,
Oh, I
steals him.
Well-
right after his mom dies, and you find out. Well, we won't tell.
Yeah, I'm not going
going
to tell him.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil
some
the whole thing.
spoilers, yeah. Like,
All right.
Yeah, we're not going to
There's-
tell you
okay,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, because there's
just stop.
it's a big part of it. But anyway, the point is it deals with Star-Lord meeting Ego for the first time and having a bunch of issues with that. It deals with Gamora and Star-Lord and dealing with their issues of kind of, falling for each other but trying to pretend like they're not falling for each other, and there and it introduces new characters like Mantis.
Yeah.
In there was she.
I like her.
Yeah,
she was
she's-
cool in Infinity War.
and especially her and Drax,
Drax.
the
Yeah.
way they
It's like, you're
play,
so ugly.
the way they play
Is
off
there
of each
ale? I
other.
was like, yeah, but it's good. I like ugly.
Yeah, the way they play off of each other. Rocket and Groot and Michael Rooker, Yondu, like, dude, there's a scene, and again, I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's a scene where they just fucking wreak fucking deadly havoc on people. It's and Yondu with he can control this arrow
out of
by
his mohawk.
whistling. You just have to see it. It's
thin,
badass. It's just brutal. It's violent and brutal.
You're
and
gonna love it.
It's great, yeah, and it's
And
got
the whole
some.
scene of him trying to get the fin back with Groot keeps bringing him back stuff.
Yeah, don't tell him. You're gonna blow
can't
it.
help it,
You're
I
gonna-
wanna know.
Yeah, no, he's gonna.
But,
Don't.
he,
yeah,
but he
there's-
brings one of these rats.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. He's like, what? No. Okay, I'm
just-
done.
Anyway, the point is, this movie. What I like about it is I like all the angles they took, because I feel like the first movie, to be fair, even though I like the first movie a lot too, but the first movie I didn't have that much complexity to it in terms of the characters. The characters kind of were what they were on the surface, and they were goofy, and they fought a lot, and they didn't get along. And then at the very end, they all kind of
came together.
Sort of come together. And this one has so much more depth to it of a story. I think the soundtrack is better. I think
God, I love the soundtrack.
the way the songs work with, like, there's a point to... In the first movie, it was like they just chose kind of kitschy 70s songs to be funny in a way. Whereas in this movie, now this one, it's still 70s, but it gets into some 80s and stuff. It starts moving into like 80s hits.
We're losing Vito.
No, I prefer the 80s over the 70s. So.
Well, but the thing is if you listen to the songs and then you see what, like, there's a point to them. Like, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Even real quick, like the song Brandy. They had that old song, you say, Brandy, you're a fine girl. That old 70s song. It's a yacht rock classic.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
You might if you
heard it.
But
Probably
the point
not.
of the matter is it's, you come to realize, like, it's not just in there to be in there. It's like the words of that song and how it relates to Quill and his mother and all this stuff. Like, there's a point to it.
Okay.
And they actually reference it. They actually reference the song. And he was like, like the song Brandy and how it blah, blah, blah. This is why I had to leave. And it was like, oh, okay. So, and just to me, being into music and everything, like, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I like the fact that, even just like as great as the soundtrack for Captain Marvel is, it's like, we'll just throw in Just a Girl during the fight scene because she's just a girl. Fine. It's like, okay. Like, that's okay, but like in this one, I felt like the songs really, like, you couldn't not have that song there because then that scene wouldn't work. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah, I liked, in addition to that when they played the songs, they were actually like playing them there. It's not like it's being like filtered in. It's like on that big opening fight scene.
Yeah, they
had a
that,
boombox and they turned it on.
Well,
and like when they played Brandy, it was on the radio in the car,
right?
Or it's like playing on his Walkman or whatever. It's like it was actually played. They were actually listening.
Or
to
Rocket
it live.
was pumping it through the ship
system.
to distract the guys that were coming after him,
right?
And everything to make them think that as a decoy. That's what I'm saying. So the music. It's kitschy
it
and everything,
played a role.
But it had a role. It had an important
This more
role.
organic feeling than
yes.
just
just like, let's find a disco song for him to dance to.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think they actually picked out the soundtrack before they even wrote the script.
They wrote the script kind of around the soundtrack.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
So that's cool. Yeah, you may not be a fan of all the songs necessarily, but they have a point. And it's
like a Michael Scorsese movie or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Where he knows exactly, all right, this song has to play over the scene because it's going to add whatever this is to it or whatever,
it
right?
adds the right mood or flavor or the words. Yes.
Okay.
It's the same idea. And it's brilliant. I wasn't expecting, because I really liked the first Guardians. Like, I was on board. I'm like, yeah, Guardians are awesome. Cool. Can't wait to see the second one. But then I saw the second one and I was like, whoa, holy shit, I fucking loved that movie. Like Guardians prior were just like cool, but then it became like, oh shit, no, like this is like my favorite. Like, I can't believe, because a lot of people were saying that about the first one. Oh, Guardians are my favorite. And I was like, dude, really? Like, I liked it, but like, Guardians are your favorite? Like, fucking Winter Soldier? Really? Dude, come on, man. Winter Soldier exists.
Dude, Iron Man 2's out there. What are you talking about? Guardians 2.
But I'm just saying, but Guardians 2, I was like, okay, now these characters have some depth to them. Now they're the growth that they made in this movie was important to the role that they play now in like Infinity War and stuff. You got anything more you want to say about that?
Other than it's amazing?
I think we summed that up. But anyway,
yeah.
That's why it ranks so high for the both of us. It's an underrated movie.
Absolutely. I mean, it has some corny cheeseball moments and stuff.
They kind of all do, though.
Yeah. I was like, I know people had gripes about that, but I don't care. I thought it was kind of fun and cute. It was entertaining.
I didn't think the cornball moments were any more cornball than like Ant-Man and the Wasp or something like that.
Right. Yeah. This is not a movie you're going to take 100% seriously. So.
But you could definitely take it more seriously than the first one. I think.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
Yeah. I mean, all the character interactions, I mean, they're so complex all over the place. Rocket in his growth.
Yeah.
It's like he's terrified
Yeah.
about being abandoned and left alone again.
Right.
And so he's a dick to everybody to, push
Yeah,
him
they
away. But then they come back. It gets explained and everything. And
Well, that's what I'm saying. They made it so that it wasn't just that these were like obnoxious, goofy characters. They gave them some
More
point
depth,
for it.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
even
So-
Baby Groot, he doesn't like to dance in front of Drax because Drax doesn't. If you dance, you're no good. You're a terrible person or whatever. And so Baby Groot's all dancing and everything, and Drax like falls down in the fight scene and stuff, and Groot's like, and he looks away. He's like, he looks again. He's like, he will not dance in front of Drax because he wants to be cool. He wants him to like him. Even Baby Groot that doesn't say anything. I am Groot.
Anyway,
I don't know how much money Vin Diesel made off of that,
a lot.
right?
Yeah. I'm sure he's got some kids and some nephews and nieces that just love him now because he's Groot, which is usually why people pick those roles. It's like, I had a grandkid that wanted me to do it.
Yeah, look at Raul Julia in Street Fighter the movie. Same thing.
Wow. On that note, I think that's all we got to say about Guardians 2. All right, so we are down to the last one because we've gone through just about all of them.
Which ironically is the first Avenger.
It is the first Avenger. We didn't even plan it that way. See how
No.
fucking clever we aren't? But it's about this guy right here.
Good old Cap.
Captain America. I love Captain America.
Fucking
man.
awesome.
Captain America is great, and I love the way he's played. Chris Evans just does an incredible job. So I'll let you take the lead on this one, Vito, because you couldn't even choose. You chose all three of them.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Captain America was like my favorite Avenger, I guess. I mean, Iron Man's up there too, but there's something about Captain America. I love his shield as a weapon. It's so, you'd think it'd be like the lamest thing ever, but it's like one of the most badass things in the whole MCU, man.
Yeah.
I love the 90s movie that Albert Pyong made with, I forgot the lead actor's name, but Larry, I guess, hasn't seen the 90s Captain America with Ronnie Cox.
I saw it years ago.
Where Captain America uses the heel of his boot and he knocks the missile off course, and that's how he gets frozen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that fucking gem. Wow. Well, that explains why it's Vito's favorite.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, I just, the first Captain America, First Avenger, I love period piece movies, especially World War II movies.
Yeah.
Just incredible. Tommy Lee Jones as the general or whatever was amazing in that film. I love the chemistry between him and
Bucky.
Bucky was great. Yeah.
Oh, and Agent Peggy.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And I love how they continued the story where Peggy's is it her niece or granddaughter?
Right, yeah.
Was his love interest later on. I thought that was really cool.
Right.
Love Emily Van Camp.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah. And the Winter Soldier, I mean, dude, when I love when Russians take people and do science experiments on them and create them into this huge thing. I love that for some reason. And that's what the Winter Soldier is.
Yeah. Yeah. Winter Soldier, like I said before, until Infinity War came out, Winter Soldier was hands down, and on some days of the week, or certain weeks or months or whatever, it still is my number one. Winter Soldier is such a fucking great movie. And again, it's another one of those ones because this one probably, even more than Doctor Strange or any of them, this one is the one that it's like somebody says, I'm not that into like superhero movies, or I don't know, blah, 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 blah. Like, it would be too goofy. Or could I be on board with that? I don't know. But I'd be like, watch Captain America Winter Soldier. That's it.
That's actually what you did to me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You started me. I was like, watch Winter. What is it?
Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Winter Soldier, and that's where you had me start.
It's so good. I mean, again, because I love when the characters, those combinations when they play off of one another. I love Falcon.
He is a badass motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, I love the way he plays him. Bucky,
Sebastian Stan.
Fucking Sebastian Stan is awesome.
Yes.
I'm a big Sebastian Stan fan, and I love what they did with that. Like I love the way he plays it. I love the way at the end, because he's fighting it all the way, man, and Cap is just trying, he's willing to die for his friend. He's like, if I gotta die with you, man, I'm gonna die with you, because I'm not gonna let you go. I'm not gonna give up. Like, just because that's the kind of guy that Steve Rogers is. He's like, I'm not going to give up on you. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what they did to you. And then, just at the very end, they don't tell, but the fact that Bucky saves Cap, pulls him out of that, saves him from drowning, pulls him out, and then disappears. And it's like, oh, see, shit. And then that end scene when Bucky's at the museum, the Captain America museum, seeing himself, and he sees himself, and it's like coming back, and you're like, oh shit,
yeah, he's still in there, man.
Oh shit, he's coming back, and like, how badass fucking Winter Soldier's gonna be if he becomes on our side, like, fuck yeah, like, I'm getting, my hairs are standing up thinking about it. Like, I fucking love that movie. The character interplay between Steve Rogers and Black Widow was great. I love that there's like a little bit of like sexual tension there, but ultimately it's like, nope, we're pals, like,
she definitely wants Mark Ruffalo for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's but I mean, like, I loved it. Loved the whole way that movie starts on the boat and everything, on the ship with the pirate guys or whatever. Like, oh man, fucking Winter Soldier has it all. Oh, Nick Fury, when they come after Fury, you think he's dead.
Yeah,
and you're
right.
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, they sold
How do you
that.
get out of that?
Yeah.
They sold that really well in the movie, because I really thought like, oh wow, man, they killed off Fury, and then nope. Motherfucker ain't dead. Love this movie. I would stop right now and watch this whole movie at 1 a.m. No problem, beginning to end. It's like I said, next to like Infinity War, which is a whole other kind of Marvel movie. This is like a fucking perfect Marvel movie. This movie's so good. Mm-hmm. Now, Civil War, because we'll talk about that, because you included that in your number one or whatever.
That almost made my list.
Yeah,
that's an honorable mention for me.
It almost, as we discussed when we did our trivia torture and stuff, man.
That's when you talk about ensemble movies, man, that movie, holy fuck, dude. Everybody's in that, and they're warring against each other.
Right.
And you can see both sides of their argument,
Absolutely.
and you can reason with them both, but fuck, man. And the end scene where Iron Man just beating the shit out of Captain America.
Right.
Man, I can do this all day. And you recall that from the first one. It's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah. And, that's part of what I didn't like. And it's the one thing that held me back a little bit on making it. And why, even when I saw it at the time, I was like, man, I really loved that movie. But there was just elements of the whole Iron Man thing that, I don't know. I guess here's the other thing too. This is where the comic book guy comes into.
I was going to ask you if they followed what.
No.
Okay.
They took the general, basic, most general concept of the heroes being divided amongst each other because of a government accord kind of thing coming, but that's it. Like, it's not the Sokovia Accords, and the Sokovia doesn't even happen in the comic books. That's nothing to do with it. In the comic books, I can't explain it all, but it's because there's this whole thing where there's like this big battle with these like X-Men type mutants fighting these supervillains, and it happens on American soil, and as such, there's like all these casualties, and a school ends up accidentally getting blown up, and all these children die, and everything. Which is like, think about that,
Yeah.
And it's like.
It was like early 90s?
No, this was the 2000s.
Oh, okay.
Civil War came out in like the mid 2000s, like 2005 or something like that. And so that, like, Iron Man gets on board, and he becomes like the stooge for the government, basically saying like, heroes got to get on board. They got to sign this act, blah, blah, blah. He gets Spider-Man he gets Peter Parker to reveal his on TV.
Wow.
And people like J. Jonah Jameson and shit are like, are you fucking
Nice.
kidding me? This kid that's been working under me all these years like made a fucking fool out of me. But then at the same time, he kind of comes to realize like, but he's the fucking hero. Like, the Civil War comic book holds so much weight in its story. It's a weighty awesome story, which again, sorry folks, this is spoilers here. We already warned you. In the comic book, it all culminates with they finally kind of tentatively, like all this stuff happens. Cap ends up like giving himself up to the government. He has to go to court. He has to go to trial and everything. And he's walking out of the courthouse and he gets assassinated.
What?
They kill Captain
How
America.
do you kill Captain America?
Yup.
What?
Now, of course, in typical comic book fashion,
He's
like a
not
year
really
later,
dead.
a year later, they somehow bring him back. Blah 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 blah. But at the time, it was a big deal. It was in like regular news and shit, kind of like the death of Superman
Yeah, I
in the
remember
'90s
that.
and stuff. It was, and so for me to see Civil War be reduced to this one movie trope, just to get there to set up this other thing that's really the more important overarching storyline, which is the Infinity Gauntlet. It for me, it's hard to reconcile that, because to me, what they should have done, I'll keep this as short as I can, what they should have done was not even done the Civil War thing. You didn't need it. It didn't need to happen. I mean, if you had to explain why there was like a split between Cap and Iron Man, Bucky assassinating Iron Man's parents was enough. That was enough.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I see.
That would have been enough to drive a wedge and to even cause some of the heroes to side with Tony and say, well, we agree with Tony. You know, I mean,
Yeah, he's a criminal.
Bucky's a criminal. He
Yeah.
needs to come down. But then have the people side with Cap and be like, hey, that could have been us. We're vigilantes too, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't need to even take the Civil War thing and make that a fucking thing. So it was a waste. And what they should have done was after Endgame, when everybody comes back and the government and the whole world is like, holy shit, these fucking superhumans almost nearly wiped out half of our planet. That's when the Accords should have came into play. And then that's when there should have been the Civil War division. And they should have broken them up again. And that's when it could have been on such a grander scale.
I see. Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why, for me, as excellent as of a movie and enjoyable of a movie as Civil War is for me, that's why it's just not quite there.
Now, because I remember we were talking the other week, and you said, "Yeah, Civil War's not really," and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
No,
But now that you explain the whole
it's
backstory,
great.
yeah, I get it now.
It's great. And if you don't know any of that stuff, then fine. But for me, that's why it can't be in there.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, man, Captain America, what?
Lowest common denominator over here. Don't know shit about the comic books.
Sorry, but I mean, I have to explain
Give
why.
explosion,
No.
big bad mean, go. That's what we want to see, you know.
But you understand now why.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
yes.
And I'm not,
yeah,
and,
for sure.
And like I
That's
said,
that makes total sense. Yeah.
but Winter Soldier and even the first Avenger, fucking right on, dude. Great movies. And obviously you agree because it's what got you in.
Yep. I do. I really enjoy Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the other two. Well, I'm sorry. I do remember Civil War because I really like that. I liked the Falcon and Ant-Man fighting on top of the roof.
Yeah, that was good.
That was
That's
really
all
good.
great. That's what I'm saying. Like all of that is great. I just wish it wasn't Civil War. You know?
Just a general note, I guess. A lot of these movies, the villains aren't really clear-cut villains. Like maybe you hate them here,
Yeah.
or maybe they have a story like Thanos. It's like, well, I kind of get where he's coming from. He's wrong, but I get where he's coming from. Or another one, I'm not going to say it, so I don't get in trouble. Bad guy. And then you realize, like, well, maybe he's not so bad guy. Bucky, bad guy, but is he a bad guy? I mean, you have so many of that. It's like you don't have a real clear-cut good. Is he really a bad guy?
That gray area makes a good villain. You know, you don't want a guy that's so ultra mean and bad that you're like, yeah, whatever, he's just a bad guy. But when you can kind of see some of his point and you're like, oh shit, I can actually like
Right.
kind of agree with some of what this guy's saying here. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah, and Marvel seems to be really good at that.
Well,
Even like the Guardians, they're not really good.
well, I was just going to say, in as much as with the villains, it applies the same for the heroes because the heroes are extremely flawed. I mean, Tony Stark is an extremely flawed person. I mean, let's not forget, of course, I know you guys aren't that into that movie, but Age of Ultron. I mean, Ultron exists because fucking the Hulk and Iron Man made Ultron. Now, okay, they didn't intend to make him bad, but they fucked up. Their hubris, their egos and their hubris that we could make this blah, blah, blah without really thinking it all through. They created somebody that almost destroyed the human race,
Black Widow.
Right, the Black Widow.
Assassin, isn't she?
Right, exactly. And there's a good point, too. It's like, how could she be against Bucky? How could she be like, no, Bucky's got to come, he's got to go down? It's like, bitch.
Wait a minute.
You're the same thing. You were a Russian assassin, just like him. And you weren't even necessarily as brainwashed as he was. He didn't even remember who the fuck he was. Don't mess with my fucking Winter Soldier, man.
Are we getting a Black Widow movie?
Yes, supposedly.
We are.
I'm really curious to know where they're going to go. Like,
because she is so awesome in that role,
Hell
man.
yeah,
she is so damn good.
It's long overdue. It's stupid that it didn't. Whereas I can say these others, like, I like the ensemble-ness of it, or I prefer Thor, or I prefer Iron Man with everybody else. It's like, that being said, Black Widow deserves her own movie. She always has. She should have.
What about Hawkeye? Is he getting anything?
Well, it's funny you asked that. Where we are moving into now, it's not even going to be so much Disney's doing a whole new thing where they started their own Netflix type channel.
Okay.
Which is why Defenders and all those things are not going to be on Netflix anymore. But they've announced, and folks, if you're like, oh, it's not confirmed yet, I'm sorry. But as far as I know, it's been announced that a lot of these are going to spin off now into series.
Like TV series?
Yes. Kind of like Daredevil and all that. But there's going to be a series that has, is it Hawkeye and Falcon?
Huh.
Nice.
Are going to have their own series together or something like that. It's something like that. And then...
See, I love those characters, man. They don't give them enough screen time for me anyway.
I think like Vision and Scarlet Witch are going to have their own series.
Oh, really?
Or no, maybe it's not. Maybe it's Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's like they're doing. Okay. They're going to take a lot of those. I guess you would call them second tier type ones and give them their own series.
Do you know if they're using? Probably not.
Same
but
actors?
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Oh, they are.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's Disney, man. I mean, this isn't even Netflix. Like, this is fucking Disney. They got the dough.
Yeah.
See, TV doesn't have the stigma that it used to, where people like.
If you're a movie star, you can't be on TV.
I'm not going to do TV. No, it's not like that no more, man. It's like
now I think actors would prefer to be on TV. You probably get better perks and stuff on.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot.
Because you're signed up for 12 episodes. You're not signed up for a movie deal. Right.
Well, there's probably works out favorable for a bunch, not just perks and money, but in terms of schedule and stuff too, because they have to film a lot of that stuff so far in advance, and then they can go off and be like, do their RD projects or whatever the fuck else they want to do. But anyway, you'll have to look that up and everything. But there's some really cool stuff that's supposed to be. I'm like, man, I don't need to be paying for another channel. But Disney Channel, they're supposed to have that. They're gonna have like Star Wars, like live action, like Star Wars series, like offshoot things. They're having one that's supposed to be about like the Boba Fett people, like the Mandalorians. It's just called The Mandalorian. Everything. I'm like,
that's how they're gonna get Larry.
Yeah, I was just saying. I'm like, you're gonna have like all these. You're gonna have series with like Winter Soldier and Falcon and Hawkeye and all this shit, and then you're gonna have like the Star Wars series. It's like, just here's my wallet. Just take it, Disney. Mickey, you greedy bastard. Just take it. But anyway, man, that wraps it up for us, I think. I mean, there's the honorable mentions. We've already kind of mentioned all of them. For me, it was like Civil War and Iron Man. And, for you, it was Infinity War. What was your...
I had Civil War and Thor Ragnarok.
Right, Ragnarok. Real popular with... people love Ragnarok. I thought it was okay. For me, let me bring that up that as a side note, because it's another one that gets played down a lot. People just don't seem to care for it. And the one that I think is the most underrated is Thor: The Dark World. It's a really good movie, man. I think that's a really underrated Marvel movie. There's the chemistry between Thor and Loki and stuff in that movie. It's funny. There's definitely some good humor in it, but it's It's intense, man, and it's got what's his face playing the villain, the Ninth Doctor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh my God, I am such a fucking failure. How can I not think of his name? Yeah. Anyway,
What does he look like?
Eccleston. Christopher Eccleston plays
Really?
the villain. Yeah, and that you can't. He's so done up. You don't. But it's a fucking Eccleston, man.
Wow.
You know, it's a really good movie, folks. You know, if you haven't seen it or you only saw it, like, give it another chance. Dark World it's worth checking out again. But on that note, yeah. So everybody, it's been a pleasure talking about this, and hopefully, like I said, by the time you're seeing or listening to this, you're either on your way to go see or you have already seen Avengers Endgame. You know, by the time we're gonna put this out, and then we're gonna get dressed and get our drinks and popcorn and shit and go see this movie. So
should we wear the masks to the theater, you think?
I might bring my hammer. I might.
I'll just wear my shirt.
Yeah, see, that's an awesome shirt.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Walmart special.
Yeah, so, well, this was an Amazon special, so, and that was a thrift shop special. So,
That was an awesome find.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you did see Endgame, comment below and let us know what you thought and how you think it changes
Right.
your number 5s.
Yeah, and let us know what you thought about all this. If you want to, by all means, if you think we're full of shit, you think we don't know what we're talking about, anything, tell us. We want to know.
Talk to us, please.
Yep, exactly. We're lonely.
If you thought a Spider-Man movie should have been in this list.
Homecoming was a really good movie. It was a really, really good movie, but yeah, it's not. Again, I loved him in Avengers, but
Yeah, I really like Spider-Man in the ensembles.
right.
Have I seen Spider-Man Homecoming? I don't even know if I have.
Well, what is
that?
that?
Obviously not memorable.
Was that the only one they made in this?
That's the only one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw most of it. I liked it. It was pretty cool.
yeah, it's real good.
Because I love Michael Keaton.
Right, Keaton is the
Oh,
villain.
yeah.
He's great.
The
as
Vulture,
villain.
and yeah, it's really good.
And another one where it's like he's not all bad. You know, it's like it's tough to hate him. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, we'll be talking about Marvel till we're blue in the face. So. Saying sayonara for now, true believers. And we'll see you on the flip side.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
The flip side of time when they bring all these heroes back.
We'll see. Reverse the snap. Avenge the fallen. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for checking out the podcast.
Let us know what you think in the comments, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Please click on the links in the description to follow us, and make sure you hit that subscribe button below.
And if you want to help us out, please check out our Patreon page as well.
We'll be back with more soon.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Holy shit, did we do it?
Yeah, we did it.